It's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker today, Sam Billimoria. Is that how you pronounce your name, Sam? How about that? Who's going to be talking to us about the diabetes prevention program. Sam has a very colorful background. He's a certified lifestyle coach for the last few years, but he was born and raised in Mumbai in a Zoroastrian family. Completed school in Mumbai, got his MBA, MPH, but he's a professional international deep sea masters mariner and was a merchant marine officer and ship captain. After migrating to the U.S., he was a real estate salesman and broker for 23 years. He's certified in public health, certified health education specialist, and currently a master trainer and coach in public health for the diabetes prevention program. And in May of this year, he was named as a distinguished listee in America's Who's Who. And on top of all that, he's an award-winning ballroom dancer. So with that, we welcome Sam. Thank you for joining us today and talking to us about something very important to our health.
Hello, can you hear me? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, shalom. It's an honor to be at this great institution, a religious institution. It's very pretty. But before I start, I would like to welcome my Chief Executive Officer, Deborah Wright, because she is actually the pioneer of this program that got systematized with the CDC. And I would like to have her here and talk to you about it. So Debbie, please give her a warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to be here. What a treat. The program is called the National Diabetes Prevention Program, and that started up about 2010 when I was doing a breast cancer prevention program. I owned a mobile mammography company, and that's what we started. And when I found out the CDC had this wonderful program, and I looked at what we were doing, it was the same program. So I said, you know what, I'm going to join. So it's really been wonderful. Since 2010, the CDC has made this, Congress made this the National Diabetes Prevention Program. And so we've been in existence. We have interns from CSUN and Cal State LA promoting the program. And we're very honored to have Sam as not only our coach, but our master lifestyle coach. So enjoy. We're going to give you session 0 right now. And if you have any questions or anything like that, we're here. I've passed out the risk test. If you don't need to take the risk test, please feel free to pass it on to your family, your friends, or your neighbors. Sam?
Thank you, Debbie. What an honor to be at this institution. I have a few people first to thank. Valley Bat Shalom, of course, and VBS Hazak, Dr. Hayat, Eileen Sudak, and Jeff Bernard. And now, of course, you ladies and gentlemen for being here for this presentation. Now I will go ahead, and this is essentially session 0. It will give you the outlines of the program. We go into greater details in our session 1, but you will see this as session 0, and you will see 1 next to it. That is the number of the slide so that I can keep a record of how I am progressing. So we will go ahead with the program now. And this is an overview of the National Diabetes Prevention Lifestyle Change Program. And we'll discuss what lifestyle change is about. The important thing to note over here is that our website is in front of you. Please make a note of it. And also, I have given you a link to the participation form, which is most important in order to register for the program. So I'm just going to give you about half a minute to make a note of all this. And then I will proceed with the rest of my presentation. Okay, So what are the 5 goals for today? We have 5 goals. One is to learn about pre-diabetes. This is what it is all about. We will discuss what diabetes is, but this is not if you are fully diabetic. Learn about the Vision of Health, AVOH National, the APP program, which can help you to reduce your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Discover some things about yourself and your readiness to make a lifestyle change. And then meet some great people and have fun. So now hopefully this video will work for me. In.
Wow, where'd she come from?
Welcome to Your Health with Joan London, presented by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Hi, I'm Joan London. We are here today to talk about pre-diabetes. Believe it or not, more than 1 in 3 people in the U.S. have pre-diabetes. And even scarier, a whopping 90% of them don't even know it. Today we are joined by Dr. Ann Albright, Director of the CDC's Division of Diabetes Translation, to tell us what is pre-diabetes and what we need to know to prevent it. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
So what is pre-diabetes?
Prediabetes is a condition where your blood sugar is higher than normal, but not high enough to be type 2 diabetes.
And this can be very alarming when you think about how many people have it if it goes unchecked.
Yes, if it goes unchecked, it can lead to type 2 diabetes. It can also lead to heart attack and stroke. And certainly if you go on to get type 2 diabetes, it can lead to a variety of those serious complications.
Well, with this number of people in America, 86 million people, that's the bad news. Let's tell them the good news. There's actually some pretty simple things you can do to lower your risk.
Yes, it's certainly eating healthy foods as often as you possibly can. Moving more, get more physical activity. Those are going to help you lose a modest amount of weight, 5 to 7%. That's really the key. And it's also figuring out how to reduce your stress.
Because that's what makes you eat, right?
Exactly.
Now, that's hard. I mean, it sounds like simple things, but it can be hard for people to do. So there is a terrific program. The CDC has the National Diabetes Prevention Program. And by following along with this, you can actually reduce your risk of developing type 2 diabetes by as much as 58%. But first,
And I'm going to go to back from PowerPoint. Yes, so we saw that video now. We'll go on now. So what is pre-diabetes? We have to know what first pre-diabetes is. So this is, as the doctor said, your sugar levels are higher than normal, but not high enough for diabetes. It is within a narrow range, and that is, if you have pre-diabetes, why is it so crucial to prevent diabetes? Because if you have the risk of pre-diabetes, you have the risk of running type 2 diabetes. That is the most important thing to remember. And there is also a greater risk of heart diseases and stroke, which you want to avoid. If you have pre-diabetes, you're very likely to develop type 2 diabetes very soon, maybe within a period of 2 or 3 months, or 2 or 3 years, sorry. If you do nothing about it, 70% of pre-diabetics get T2, and as we saw in the video, more than 90% do not even know it. How you determine if you have pre-diabetes? By a clinical blood test. Your pre-diabetic range in your hemoglobin A1C level is between 5.7 to 6.4%. You would be surprised. Just within that narrow range, as Joan London was discussing, there are now 100 million people having it. She said 86 million, but that was pre-COVID. Post-COVID, it's 100 million. And you would be surprised that 90% don't even know it. So therefore, it is very essential for you, ladies and gentlemen, to get your clinical blood test done. particularly with the risk test given to you, and if you have more than 5 on a risk test, you have to have that done as soon as possible. So fasting blood sugar level of 100 to 110 to 125. Why are the two numbers over here? The 100 is if you are under 60. However, if you're over 60, then the recommendation is between 110 to 125, or random 2-hour plasma glucose between 140 and 199, or high-risk test results, which you have it in front of you, or had prevention diagnosis of gestational diabetes. This is for the ladies that when you're pregnant, you get diabetes and it is gone as soon as the baby is born. But if you had that while you were pregnant, then you run a greater risk of having prediabetes. So those are the risk factors. And as Joan London said, now she said 86, but I say now it's 100 million aged 18 or older have prediabetes. That is 30% of the population. However, what you have to do is add another 37 million who already have full-blown diabetes. So when you add the two, what do you get? 137 million people, and that's 41% of our population. It's a rampant disease, but it is understated, and that is why we have to be more careful about it. A higher percentage of men than women have prediabetes. These are the statistics that I'm giving you from the CDC. So this is just another picture form over here. This is a kind of a snapshot. And what I'd like to do is call it the good, the bad, and the ugly Clint Eastwood style. So what is the good? The good is that you're in the green zone over here. You're in the orange zone over here. That means you're pre-diabetic between 5.7 to 6.4. Yeah, a little bit bad, but that is okay because there are steps you can take to improve that. And then, unfortunately, this is the ugly part where you have full-blown diabetes. And we will see why it is so bad to have diabetes. What is type 2 diabetes? Here we go. So, your body cannot properly use insulin, which could cause you to have blood sugar levels. That is the important thing. People who have diabetes are at higher risk of serious health complications, blindness, kidney failure, heart disease, stroke, loss of toes, feet, or legs. Now, the unfortunate part of it is studies have shown that if you have full-blown diabetes and if you've had an amputation of the limb, then you're likely to pass away within the first 2 years of that amputation, and 50% of the people are vulnerable to it. How are we doing so far? Okay, nice to see a thumbs up. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, type 2 diabetes, higher risk. You are at higher risk of getting type 2 diabetes. If you, this is the full-blown diabetes we are talking about. If you're 45 plus years old, are not physically active, you are overweight, gestational diabetes, we discussed what that was, and have a parent or sibling with type 2 diabetes. And all these factors are in your risk test over here. Okay, now this is according to the Jewish Diabetes Association. Many people have told me that they are not aware that there is a Jewish Diabetes Association, and I thought that would be very important to relate to their studies today. This is according to them. Type T2 diabetes disproportionately affects Jewish descent population, 20 to 30% more than non-Hispanic whites. So if you take the baseline for non-Hispanic whites as 7.4% vulnerability, that is, say out of 1,000 people, 74 people have that, you have to add 25 to 30% to it, and approximately you can say it's 10%. So that is more vulnerability for the Jewish population, and it is understated. We'll see more about this. Okay. Now the point is, why are members of the Jewish community at higher risk for T2? And we had a very lively discussion just 2 weeks ago with this lady who is in charge over there. Her name is Nehama Cohen. And she told us to go ahead and make this presentation. She wished us the best and ask everyone to pass the word around how dangerous it is. And when we asked her, you are in Brooklyn because the office is in Brooklyn. Oh, she says, no, I'm in Israel. This was just 2 weeks ago. So we were kind of pretty amazed with that. So family traits, the prevalence of obesity and insulin resistance all contribute to the risk of diabetes in the Jewish community. T2 tends to run in families. Jewish Americans have a higher rate of diabetic complications because of poor glycemic control. And glycemic control is nothing but the glucose concentration, which we were talking in the blood sugar levels just about a few minutes ago, and high prevalence of prediabetes. This is another Jewish study. This is according to the most recent research that is just recently in April of 2023 and last year. According to the most recent research, Beth Israel Lehi Health Joslin Diabetes Center, a Harvard Medical School affiliate, they say that type 2 diabetes cannot be cured. However, individuals can go into remission to non-diabetic range, which we were talking about between 5.7 to 6.4. Yes, you can be in remission, but that can go only for a short while, because they think that within a period of, say, 6 months to 2 years, diabetes strikes back. So the cells have already been damaged. This is what the research says. And underlying genetic factors causing the disease remain intact. Over time, disease reasserts itself and more damage ensues. Now, WebMD, which is another important credible site, concurs with that opinion, and that was just as recent as April 2023. But here's some good news. Prediabetes can be reversed, and that is why we are here, to give you the good news. So, with lifestyle modifications, we will see what that is, and change with healthier eating, which that lady was talking about, Dr. Albright, in the video. Increased activity, yes. Please go on your walk with the Reverend Rabbi, because that is important to go to and walk around Lake Balboa. It's a very pleasant walk. And lose weight. So, diabetes program. We have already seen there are 2 parts for qualifying for the National Diabetes Prevention Program. So the first part is that you are pre-diabetic. We have seen the qualifications for that on the basis of your glucose levels. The second part, in order to qualify for the DPP program, you have to have these. Be 18 years or older, have a body mass index. We will discuss what that is. Of 25 or higher, or it's 23 or higher if you are identifying yourself as an Asian American. You have not been previously diagnosed with either T1 or T2 diabetes and are not pregnant. Now, the program includes coaching activity, positive thinking, counseling to lose weight, and it is CDC recognized. So what do we say that this is a lifestyle change program? We go and, explore all the aspects of emotional and mental challenges that you might be having in your journey for this program. So this includes your mental challenges, your emotional challenges, and also the stress factor, what Dr. Albright was talking about. These are the things we have, and then we will see the structure of the program. So get on your successful lifestyle change DPP program with a vision of health. According to New England Journal of Medicine in 2006, excess body weight is associated with an increasing risk of death. And that is where prediabetes and diabetes start striking you. A trained lifestyle coach, you're looking at him, encourage you to set and attain goals. Of course, I'm a master coach now, keeps you motivated, and you will take the next step to register by using our website. Are we okay so far? Good, thank you. So, this is the program. If you have prediabetes, you can reverse this condition by small changes to your diet. Now, everything, your biggest journey starts with a small step, and that's what we believe in. So, small changes to your diet, you make small changes to your diet. Losing just a small amount of body weight along with light to moderate physical activity with AVOH, that's a successful lifestyle change program. And now I will tell you the structure of the program. So we have this lifestyle change program. I've described it to you how it works. So the program is for a year. It is in 2 phases. The first phase is what we call the core phase. In the core phase, in the first 6 months, we have 16 sessions that are mandatory. So how does it work? It is a bit asynchronous because what the CDC wants is to have 16 sessions in 26 weeks. So how do we program that? We do that first by having the first 12 sessions every week. So the first 3 months you've had 12 sessions. And then we phased it out so that your 26th week coincides with the 16th session, maybe 3 or 4 days over. So we are not allowed to exceed 26 weeks, but we have it for 26 weeks. So this is your core phase. That is phase 1. Now we come to phase 2. And in the phase 2, you have options. So that is number session 17 to 26. And out of this, we choose 6 that are most compatible with the group. And it is probably the group that decides what particular 6 sessions you will need. So there's an option over here. Again, we have to do at least 6 sessions in the phase 2. And for that, we meet every month. So you have the whole year. And why is it the whole year? I will explain to you in a minute. So that is the structure of the program. Now, this is again DPP lifestyle program, also chances of metabolic syndrome, which is nothing but the same thing as diabetes, if you will see the symptoms. Someone with the metabolic syndrome has 3 or more of the following: more fat stored in the belly than on the hips, high triglycerides, low HDL cholesterol, high blood pressure, high fasting glucose, we discussed about that. 1 of every 4 American adults has the metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome increases your chances, there you go again, heart attack, diabetes, stroke, other problems related to conditions such as eye, nerve, and kidneys. It's the same thing as having diabetes. So this is the most important thing. We are taking you to your intrinsic values. It is not for us to be pedagogic and tell you what to do or why you should do it. The idea is that, yes, I am a coach, but I'm a coach only in name. But the point is that mainly the coaches are facilitators. They facilitate us group discussion. They facilitated your ideas because you have lived your life, and then you know you have a wealth of information to share with the people within the group. So this is why we encourage you to have good discussions. And in that, we tell you why you want to do the program, and you have to choose one of these values, which is because your internal motivation will drive you to do the program and do the things that are needed to do for you to be successful. So, is it your family? Is it your career? Because you know that when you lose weight, you will be more productive because you'll be more energetic. Set an example to others, to your children, to your grandchildren, to your great-grandchildren. Mobility, yes, you want to be independent and be moving about, right? Then you need to have independence. You don't want to be dependent upon your children or grandchildren. You know, lessen financial burden, that is most important. You know what our health costs are today. I don't have to tell you that. Then, and you live longer, of course. And then you will see, this is for you to write down in your own piece of paper. It's describe a recent experience when you demonstrated this value and use a blank piece of paper. We'll go on. So this is why we talk about weight loss. Now, it has been shown by statistics and by studies that even a moderate weight loss will decrease your risk of getting type 2 diabetes. That is the most important thing. And what are the studies showing? The studies are showing that even a 5 to 7%, which is a moderate weight loss, and you have a whole year to do it, but we encourage you to do it within 6 months, and there is a reason why. So if you lose 5 to 7% of your weight loss, the risk decreases by 58% if you are under 60. But the risk is reduced by 71% if you're over 60, just going the other way. That is the good news. So, and with that, you have to have 150 minutes of physical activity of way. Again, I cannot emphasize enough that walks are important. Whenever a walk is organized over there, please go for a walk. It's very good. And in the group, you get more motivated. Okay? What our program offers is proven curriculum that is recognized by the CDC, a lifestyle coach, that is me or Debbie, and again, we have interns now kind of getting trained for that, and a support group. That is the most important thing, because you relate yourself to the people around you. You can come and see and discuss over here in this beautiful room over here, or meet anywhere, anytime. Participant who lost 5 to 7% of the added 50 minutes, and there it is, 71 for people over 60 years of old. All right? So we are coming to the end of the program now, ladies and gentlemen. I just have to show you one more video, and we are looking forward to join this great group within the 12 months, our valued members of the Jewish community, and you will make amazing progress. And I have the statistics to show you that. So again, if you can help me, thank you very much. We have a final video to see.
First, how do you know you have it?
Second one.
Simple first step, take an easy risk test. It's
No, the other one.
They're having a problem. That's the problem with doing it this way. It was okay last week or 2 weeks ago.
We have.
But I didn't.
Who are you? You're on my screen. I can't even see the program. How did I get you?
Because she's not on mute. You unmuted yourself. This
I know I
is not on mute, and I think there's something wrong.
Okay,
with
here you
your
go. This
transmission.
is a video
There we
which.
go. Everybody go mute.
Especially if you have prediabetes. Prediabetes puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes, a serious health condition. That's why CDC developed a lifestyle change program to help you reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes and improve your overall health. This program will take the guesswork out of losing weight, eating better, and being more active. You'll learn new ways to stay healthy and sustain those changes over time, such as how to exercise when you can't go outside, and how to eat healthy even on your busiest days. When you join, you'll get a full year of support from a trained lifestyle coach to help you set and achieve realistic goals, keep you motivated, and manage stress. Through this program, you'll learn, laugh, share stories, try new things, and build new habits, all while lowering your risk of type 2 diabetes and improving your health. You can even join the program with your friends or family members at risk for type 2 diabetes and prevent the disease together. You will meet in person or online about once a week during the first 6 months of the program, and then have monthly sessions for the rest of the year to help your new, healthy habits stick and keep you from slipping back into old habits. During the program, you'll have the chance to talk privately with your lifestyle coach. As a group, you'll discuss the challenges you face in losing weight, eating healthy, and increasing your physical activity. And your coach will help you overcome any obstacles that get in the way of your success. This program has already been proven to work for thousands of people. Will you be next? Visit cdc.gov/diabetes/prevention to learn more, or talk to your healthcare provider about getting tested for prediabetes.
So, you will ask me, okay, we will join for the program, and what is the kind of the testimony that it will work? And this is just from this year's, our own administrative website, which I have got the statistics from. I completed a cohort, which is a group of people that take this program, and we said about 5 to 7%. No, we achieved 9% of that group. So what we do over here is that we encourage our participants to lose their weight up to 6% in a matter of the first 6 months, because the mathematics is very easy for me to work out. Why? In 6 months, if you lose 6%, means every month you lose 1%. Let us take an example. You are 200 pounds, just an arbitrary number, and you lose 2 pounds a month. That is easy. People say, oh yeah, we can do it. Of course you can do it. And then in order to further kind of scale it down, we say, okay, now you divide it by 4 weeks and you lose only half a pound a week. That's very easy. That's like doing nothing. So this is the way we kind of encourage you to lose the weight, and you will find that over and over again, that system for you, it works very well. Now, that was the one that was way back, not way back, just 6 months ago. But now I have a current cohort, and actually this 4.9 is actually not valid anymore, because I just worked out the statistics, and it's a whopping 6.5% in the current cohort that I'm having, which will be finishing the 6 months in the first week of December. So those are the kind of results you can look forward to. I was talking to you about the body mass index, and I want to talk to you a little bit about body mass index. The body mass index is just a simple, it's not a simple equation, it's a complex equation between your height and your weight. Now, it is gender neutral. Only over 20 it is gender neutral, so it doesn't really matter. But the thing is that there is a website you can put in, calculate BMI, you can enter your height, you can enter your weight, and then it will spit you out the body mass index. Now, here is the alarming statistic. If you are over 25, you are overweight. So between 25 and 29.9, you are considered overweight, which is 30% of our population. Just in that range, it gets worse, because if you're over 30 and between 30 and 39.9, you are obese. And that is the alarming 42% of the population. And if you're over 39.9 on the BMI, you are morbidly obese. You add the 42 and 30%, and you get a whopping 72% of our population today that is overweight. That is alarming. That means almost 3 out of 4 people are overweight. And that is what I wanted to tell you. So what do we do now? Starting today, how can you improve your life and lower your risk of developing type 2 diabetes? Register at a Vision of Health, and I'm giving you this link again. Register on that link in the participant form, and then we will have the pleasure of talking to you and starting a group. Tentatively, the first group we have started. It's going to be in January 2024, and that is it. I welcome your questions, your discussions, and it was a pleasure making this presentation to you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
So do you have any comments or questions for Sam? Yes, Lauren, hold on.
Thank you. Appreciate your presentation. Maybe you can debunk something. I've seen stuff online, which is a dangerous place to go, and it says as we age, there's naturally a slight increase in what is considered normal for older ages. Is that accurate or not?
Yes, and that is why if you go to see, I made that comment on the glucose level, which is 100 and 110. So that is the way, and one of the main reasons why the CDC has upped that sugar level a little bit, because of the natural factors of aging, and that is very true. But thank you for bringing that out.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Sure. And I've got comments to go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because there seems to be an increase in children's body weight as well as their activity, which of course contributes to this. Is your program addressing this segment of the population?
No, we're 18 and over to get into the program, but it does start with the adults, doesn't it? So I think that's the importance, that we need to lead the way and we've been very poor examples of our sugar management in this country. So it does start with the adults. And yes, it's a pretty serious problem with obesity in children. I just really wanted to mention to you that this program is not a diet. This program, we have somebody in the room who's taken our program, who kindly referred us here today. And I think the most important thing when you're trying to lose weight is to be successful, because it's pretty easy to lose weight, but what's really hard, keep it off. And that's the beauty of this program. It's a 1-year-long program, gives you plenty of time to break those old habits, develop new habits. And then it's something that will last for you. 70% success rate in people over the age of 60. That's tremendous. That's the most successful program in the world for weight loss and keeping it off. So that's kind of, I just wanted to mention that this is a support group also. So you're going to be on a Zoom call with your group, and we'll be meeting once a week up to the 4 months, 6 months, and then every other week. And then after 6 months, it's once a month on a Zoom call. It's a 1-hour Zoom call. And I just wanted to be sure that you understood that. We are happy to do in-person meetings when it's appropriate, and when our participants want to meet in person, we're happy to do that. I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
So Debbie just mentioned that it was a year, and there is a reason why it is a year. And I needed to mention that even in my presentation, but there is a reason. Because if you take the whole year, it is perhaps a little bit of a macrocosm of your life. What I do mean is that during the year, you have events, you have family events, you have national holidays, you have religious holidays, you have family events like you attending somebody's wedding or some of the initiation ceremonies that you have in each religion. So what happens in those social events? It is always, the focus is always on food. And if you know how you can control yourself, or you can, just be a little bit more aware, that is where it helps you. And that is why Debbie was pointing out that, as I mentioned, that it is a lifestyle change program. It is not only about diet, it is not only about physical activity, but it is looking into the whole picture with, emotional and mental challenges as well. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Just a quick question. First, thanks for being here, right? This is an incredibly important topic for those of us lucky enough to have been around the earth for a while. But if it's okay, I want to push back a little bit on your risk test, okay? it says, if 5 or more, you're at increased risk. I happen to be a 68-year-old male, okay? Well, that's actually 4 points, okay, 4 out of 5. I'm lucky enough not to have diabetes in my biological family and stuff like that. I do have weight, all right? So that right there is 5 points, all right? Is there, based on this risk plan, this risk test, if I understand it correctly, there's nothing I can do to not be at increased risk. Is that a fair assessment?
That is only a fair assessment. As we saw in the initial video where Dr. Albright pointed out, that this is an indicator. And besides that, what we suggest you do is you get your blood test, and I don't know what that is. So if that clinical blood tests are indicators between 5.7 and 6.4, or the glucose test that we said that shows you the concentration of glucose in your sugar level, then those are the indicators you go by, and therefore then you can take your corrective action.
So let me make a few comments. As you know, I'm a family physician and treat a lot of patients, have treated a lot of patients with diabetes. One, you don't want to get diabetes. Because, it's a terrible disease. You have to be on medication for the rest of your life, either pills or insulin or both. It does increase your risk for heart attack, stroke, kidney failure, it's blindness. I mean, these things really happen. Pre-diabetes is an opportunity. It's when your blood sugar is a little high, but not, you haven't basically broken the bank yet. You haven't broken your pancreas yet, where you really are into the diabetes phase. I actually helped introduce this program in Kaiser Permanente when I was working, and this was over 10 years ago. And it actually works. It's, there's no medications. I actually worked with an employer group, Marriott, where we went into the workplace and we, tested the folks, or we knew their results already, and we got them involved in this kind of program, and it works. Not only did they lose weight, but they created this social group, which they have continued on their own after the program is over, just to maintain the support group. And these folks have successfully avoided getting diabetes, at least up to this point. So, a lot of doctors don't really, they're not, the mindset, and I'm one of them, the mindset isn't always, what are there programs like this available? I'm used to prescribing medications, right? And you got to come see me in the office. Well, this kind of program has been developed, and it's been around now for, 13 years, right? 13, 14 years? Yeah. And, it actually does work. So if you know what your hemoglobin A1C is, or, you want to get it tested, and it's above that 5.6, 5.7 range, one, there's a conversation you can have with your doctor, what can I do? Or you ask, what about the DPP program? Or you got the information here, or even if you look up the CDC and look up diabetes prevention program, you can get information about it to help you or anybody in your family. Okay, it's a real, non-medication approach to preventing diabetes, which has a whole lot of health benefits. Brian? Okay, a question from a Zoomer.
Yeah, I sent a question.
One of our Zoom participants is asking, how do you figure out your PMI? I know my height and weight. What do I do with that information to find out my PMI?
Actually, one way to do it is to just go on Google, type in, BMI, or how do I calculate my BMI? And there's usually a chart. You put in your weight, you put in your height, and it just calculates it for you. Oh, ask Siri to do it. Is that right? Okay, let's go to Lauren and then Esther.
Oh my God, you can't give us
I'd like to comment on the BMI index. It's got its uses. but only for certain people. For an extreme example, if you look at the bodybuilders, there is no fat on them, and they're usually shorter, and their BMI is off the charts. But it varies. It's useful for some people, not useful for other people. So for whatever that's worth.
So we'll exclude all the bodybuilders in the room from the BMI chart. Esther?
This is very distressing for me because my son was injecting insulin when he was living in South Africa. He now lives here, and he reduced his weight and everything until a stage where he was off the insulin. He really took care of himself. He now lives here, and I've seen him recently, but he's overweight again, very much so. And I don't dare ask him what his situation is now because he never even told me. I found out quite accidentally that he was actually injecting. I don't know of any history in my family of this except my mother's brother was seriously diabetic. I want to know why, or if perhaps I've missed it, that doctors don't, in an annual examination at least, test patients for diabetes. I don't recall ever being tested for that. So it's very distressing for me to hear that he can't be cured. So is there any chance that there's some progress being made in that area where there is finally going to be some kind of cure for it?
I would say that, fasting blood sugar or A1C is pretty routine now. It's ordered pretty routinely. So, if you haven't been told you have an abnormal, that's good news. But you could ask your doctor what your last either fasting blood sugar or hemoglobin A1C result was. Yes.
You mentioned walking. Are you talking about a 5-day walk or 6-day? Because how many minutes did you say you have to walk a week?
Oh, that's a good question. So what is recommended by the CDC, and we never impose on anybody because we don't know your personal situation and your physical limitations. So you have to take all that into consideration and be guided by your physician to do that. But what we are recommending and what the CDC has said, that why this is successful, is they have found out that with the control of your intake and with this physical activity, you get the goal of 5 to 7% weight loss, and that is what gives you the success. What we then, again, you have to kind of divide it into 5 days a week, so you can allot probably 30 minutes a day to do that. Now, there are people who even find that difficult. If you are a busy parent or if you are very busy with your career, that is fine. What we encourage you to do then is that you may start small steps, start with 10 minutes and gradually increase it to 30 minutes by a month. And usually that is what is happening with the people who are very busy with us. So you had a good point over there.
Thank you.
Any other questions or last comments? Anybody want to sign up? Well, if you are interested in signing up today, you can, sign up over there. Or again, you've got the website, or talk with your doctor, or look it up. Okay? Yes. The diabetes prevention program. You came in late. Okay. Well, with that, I want to thank Sam Billimoria for joining us today. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure. It was an honor.
Thank you.